is episode 8 of the Don't Eat Your Feelings podcast with Mindfulbellie, and I am psyched to get started today. So we're going to be talking about breakfast. So breakfast is one area where I used to think I was doing so well, eating like the quote unquote healthiest things, which were actually just setting me up for cravings and crashes all day long, leading to my nightly sugar binges. So I want to help you avoid that and really give you a lot of ideas for what to do for breakfast. And it doesn't have to just be like a boiled egg every day. So there's so many options. All right, so to start off with, so breakfast is where we tend to grab convenient carby loaded things such as like bagels, donuts, danishes, muffins, things like that. And even the popularly deemed healthy options, which like for me, I was eating tons of whole wheat bagels with low-fat cream cheese and things like whole wheat toast or English muffins, or oatmeal is a really popular one that people think is healthy. Fruit smoothies, or like starting the day off with a big glass of orange juice. So these are all things that when we eat them, cereals, breakfast cereal is typically loaded with sugar, and a lot of it, all these things break down in the body like sugar. For most people, will cause a sugar spike and then an insulin spike, which has you craving and hungry like an hour later. I know I used to eat, oh my gosh, when I was growing up, Eggo waffles with maple syrup. So basically sugar on sugar, and would be hungry within like 20 minutes. I'd get to school, my stomach would be growling so loud. Like if I skipped breakfast, I'd be fine. But if I ate that freaking waffle, I would be hungry within an hour. And at the time, I didn't know why. I wasn't tuning into my body and wondering. I was just eating and running. So this is one of the main reasons. And things like I used to do instant oatmeal, even like steel cut oats, that those things can still spike your blood sugar and just don't give you the satiation that you'd get with a high protein meal. And so, and then a lot of things also, I would get so puffy, and it was because I was eating a ton of gluten. Things like wheat bagels. I was eating those every single day and wondering why my face was so puffy. And I had a terrible gluten intolerance that I didn't know about, because I didn't have like horrible like diarrhea or anything. I was just having all these symptoms that I didn't associate with gluten, which were like the puffy face, stiff joints, just really fogginess, sleepy all the time. So anyways, back to the options. So healthier options. That's what I want to give you all today, is a lot of ideas for what to put in for your breakfast. So main thing is focusing on getting good protein in. That's going to help you feel really way more satiated than some carby thing that just breaks down in your body super quick. So things, focusing on adding in the protein and then some healthy fat to help you feel satiated longer, giving that longer lasting energy. And so ideas for this. We're going to start with eggs, just because they are a very common breakfast idea. So eggs, you do want to buy preferably free range organic eggs, because the eggs that we eat, I mean, if they're eating a ton of GMO food, if they're eating a ton of things covered in pesticides and just raised inhumanely, then, you're putting that in your body. You're building your body with that. And so wanting to reduce the toxin load and really get a high quality egg. So free range organic is your best bet. And don't fear the yolk. So there's so much misinformation around the cholesterol effects of the dietary cholesterol from eggs. And they even had a recent study showing that it kept the LDL HDL ratio the same, and gave longer satiation, didn't spike the ghrelin as high. And so, which is your hunger hormone. And so you can add in eggs. This is something to be mindful of, though. If you do have an intolerance or if you're experiencing autoimmune issues, then eggs may not be your best bet. So it's definitely personalized to you. But that's a great option. So things like omelets, adding in a bunch of vegetables if possible. Hard-boiled eggs are a great go-to in the morning. You can make a bunch, at the beginning of your week, and then just pull them out as needed. Pairing them with some avocados, really great idea, or some guacamole. Also with like cooking up, adding in a lot of greens. So if you're making omelets, like throw in a bunch of spinach or some kale, things like that. And also like egg muffins or frittatas. So making egg muffins, if y'all haven't seen them, basically just like eggs and a bunch of chopped vegetables, and you can do mushrooms, spinach, whatever, and then cooking them. So you have them for the week already pre-made, and you can just throw them in a skillet, heat them up, or if you have a toaster oven, or if on the go, if you need to use your microwave, but yeah, preferably heating it up in a skillet. And then frittatas are great. So you can make like a big frittata or a big breakfast casserole, throw it in the oven, and then have that just to grab and go throughout your week. All right. So eggs are definitely a great option for protein, and eggs are also, the yolks have so many vitamins and so many nutrients. So I do want to reiterate like that it's okay to eat the yolk. They're a very high source of choline, which is amazing for your liver. So especially if you've got fatty liver, yolks are great for many people. But again, tune into your own body. If you don't feel good after eating eggs, like listen to that. So, all right. Next thing, some other ideas, sausages. So not all sausage. I don't think you should go run out and eat a bunch of Jimmy Dean sausages by any means. But I want to give you some ideas for good sausage brands. So things like Bagels is a really great brand I love. They sell that now at Costco, at Walmart. They're humanely raised chickens, and it's chicken sausage, and it's really, really good. They've got chicken and apple is probably my favorite. And the thing about sausages is to look for, there's no nitrates added, that gluten-free, preferably dairy-free or lactose-free, especially if you've got issues with those things. And look at the additives. There doesn't need to be a bunch of chemical additives and preservatives. Adels and other brands like Peterson Farms, and Vermont is another brand. And the only ingredients are like the pork or the chicken, and then spices. So that's all you really need. So if there's anything else added, sometimes there's lists and lists of ingredients with MSG and a bunch of chemicals that you don't need to be eating. So check for good quality brands like that. Things like Whole Foods has a ton of options that I'm not naming. So, but Peterson's, Vermont, and the Adels brand are ones that I know off the top of my head that are great. All right. So also Applegate brand's an amazing brand, and they've got frozen like turkey sausages and chicken sausages that you can just keep in your freezer and throw in the skillet as a grab and go. These are great for kids. And again, no chemicals added. They're awesome. So you can find those at Walmart in the freezer section too. So they're becoming readily available, which is amazing. So the next option, things like, so bacon. I want to speak on bacon. So bacon, not all bacon is created equally. So a commercially raised pig bacon is way different than a humanely raised, farm-raised pig that's never been pumped full of hormones or antibiotics. And the thing with bacon is that it is very fatty. So toxins like hormones and antibiotics, those are stored in the fat. So when you're eating a commercially raised pig full of those things with GMOs and things like that are stored in the fat, then you're getting a way bigger load of that. So not to mention just what they eat and everything changes that the complete structure of their meat. So you really want to pay the extra $1 or $2 for the good quality meat if you're going to be eating it. And so things like I love, like bacon and Brussels sprouts in the morning is probably one of my favorite things ever. I will just throw Brussels sprouts in a food processor, chop them up pretty fine, throw them in the oven with some avocado oil at like 375 or 400. Go let them cook while I'm doing whatever, and then throw bacon in the oven too. So then you don't have to watch it. You could just go get ready. I'll do a workout or something, and then it's all ready to go. When I'm done, there's not a splatter all over the stove, so that's always nice. So then bacon, and then I just chop up the bacon and put it in the Brussels sprouts and eat it like that. And sometimes I'll throw like an onion in the Brussels sprouts. If it's pre-chopped, I'm not rushing in the morning. That's always great. And literally just throw it in the oven, let it cook while you're doing other things. So that's a good go-to. Other things. So a lot of times we get trapped in this breakfast context, like cereal, eggs, like breakfast appropriated foods, when really you can just think about it as like meal 1, meal 2, meal 3. So if you can break free from that breakfast context, it opens up so many more options. And like, honestly, my classic breakfast is chicken and vegetables. So I'll do my crock pot. I'll throw in like a whole chicken or a bunch of chicken breasts. And so they're ready right when I wake up in the morning. and I literally just cook them on low all night, or some drumsticks. And then they're ready to go in the morning. And then I just do a bunch of greens with it. So I'll saute some spinach or kale in avocado oil or olive oil. A lot of times I'll just get frozen chopped kale, boil it, and then stir fry it in some oil or ghee. And then just pair that with the chicken that's already made. And so easy. Sauteing like raw spinach takes about 3 seconds, and then the chicken's already done. So it's like such an easy go-to. Other things I do are like turkey burgers. I'll buy the Applegate turkey burgers that are frozen, keep them in my freezer for a quick go-to. You just grab them, throw them in your skillet, and they're already pattied, so you don't have to touch any of the meat. It's literally throw it in the skillet, let it cook in some ghee or avocado oil, and pair that with some veggies. Maybe, or get some ground turkey. I love stir fries, are awesome in the morning. So if you have like sweet potatoes, kale, green beans, you can just get a bunch of frozen veggies, onions if you don't feel like chopping them, or on Sunday maybe chop a ton of vegetables, and then you've got them to throw in a stir fry skillet with maybe some ground grass-fed beef or ground turkey or just some chicken breast, and you can make a stir fry like that, or some eggs and do an egg stir fry. Another thing I love is this 5-ingredient spaghetti squash casserole. Every single one of my clients knows about this, or they should. If you don't, I'm sorry, and I'll tell you about it. It's so easy and it's so good. It's basically just spaghetti squash and like marinara sauce and an onion, and you can an option to add like the other vegetables, and you just bake it. And then after it's baked, it's so good cold, like cold pizza in a way. And I'll just eat that every morning for breakfast when I make it. And it's awesome. It's got Italian sausage or ground beef in it. And so you get some good protein there. So it's a really great option too. If you want that recipe, hit me up at my email, mindfulbellie@gmail.com. I will absolutely send it to you. And other things that are non-traditional, I often will just eat a can of boneless, skinless sardines with olive oil. That are packed in olive oil. That's like one of my travel go-tos for breakfast, just because I love them and they're so easy, and I'll pair it with greens. And if you like sardines, if you don't know if you like sardines, give them a try. Boneless, skinless. If you like tuna, I'm sure you'll like sardines. And they're a smaller fish, so there's a less of a toxin load. But other things like, if you're not eating it super regularly, like if you tuna or salmon would be a great thing in the morning. You could do canned salmon, or just if you made salmon the night before and had it in the morning. That's another great like non-traditional breakfast. Or you can get like the wild smoked Alaskan salmon, the slices, and just keep those in your freezer or your fridge. And that can be really good, like wrapped with an avocado. Like that'd be awesome. And then if you're somebody who likes kind of like sweeter things for breakfast, like eating it. I'll often do like a grass-fed hamburger patty with greens, like cooked greens as well. But if that's not your thing and you want something sweeter, easy things like paleo pancakes are so easy. All you do is it's eggs and like half a banana, and then I add like vanilla extract and cinnamon, and you just cook them on the skillet, and they're so good. And then other things like birch benders. If you haven't heard of birch benders, they have a paleo mix. A paleo pancake mix. All you do is add water. It's so simple. And if you want them a little bit sweeter, you can add some liquid stevia extract. I always add cinnamon, preferably Ceylon cinnamon. It's really good to help balance your blood sugar. So Ceylon cinnamon is awesome. And vanilla extract, and then sometimes some liquid stevia if you want them a little bit sweeter. I'll throw in dark chocolate chips or some blueberries. And then you could always, I cook it in avocado oil, I cook it in coconut oil or ghee. They're really good, these pancakes. And you can also, if you want something sweet to dip it in, you could do a little bit of maple syrup. Just be mindful and you could dip it in almond butter or cashew butter, dip it in some real ghee, some good quality organic grass-fed ghee is an awesome option. So that's a really good sweet option. Or you can throw some pecans in there, some nuts, you could throw in some extra flaxseed for some fiber, and collagen for some extra protein, some vital proteins, collagen, scoop of that. There's all these ways to up level. Another sweet option I like is chia seed pudding. It's so easy. So all it is chia seeds and like some coconut milk or almond milk, and you just put it in the fridge overnight, and it gets very gelatinous. But that's just very basic. So then a lot of options for add-ins here. So you could do the liquid stevia to make it a little bit sweeter. You can do blueberries and nuts and flaxseed and just kind of tweak it yourself. Vanilla extract, almond extract, cacao, make it chocolatey. And this is awesome. So chia seed pudding is a really great go-to if you tolerate seeds well. Okay. Another thing is like paleo overnight oats. So if you're like a person who likes oatmeal, there's so many swaps that you can do without actual oats that will keep your blood sugar stable. So there's an awesome cauliflower recipe, and you may be like, gross cauliflower, but it's so good and very easy. And if you want that, I can send it to you. And then paleo overnight oats. This is just like basically chia seeds, unsweetened coconut flakes, some nut milk or coconut milk, and can thicken it with almond butter. And if you want that recipe, I can send it to you as well. So these are all, if you're more of like a porridge sweet person, then these paleo overnight oats are the cauliflower oatmeal. These are great options for you. So reach out if you want those, or chia seed pudding if you want those recipes. You can always just look online and I would type in paleo overnight oats, paleo oatmeal, keto oatmeal, things that are, and just make sure, sometimes paleo recipes are filled with sugar. So watch out for that. Like calling for 1 cup of maple syrup. Like, yeah, it's maple syrup, but that's still a lot of sugar. And not to fear sugar, but just be mindful of it. In excess, it can be toxic. So just be mindful of how much you're getting, or notice in your body. So you try some of these. So you eat chia seed pudding one morning and you're instantly hungry an hour later. Then maybe you do need something heartier, like some grass-fed ground beef in the morning. Maybe you do need something a little bit more substantial, or add in some healthy fat. Add in some extra scoops of nut butter, or add in, eat an avocado or some guacamole on the side, something like that. So it's all learning about what works best for you. Maybe some of these things are too filling and you feel way too full and you don't really need to eat that much. So tune in. This is this is all experimenting. But other things, if you're a yogurt person, I would recommend like a coconut yogurt or a cashew-based yogurt that are unsweetened. So yogurts are a place that there's a lot of potential for added sugar. So even brands that look healthy like Chobani and other like Stonyfield organic vanilla has like 18 grams of sugar. So just check your label, be really mindful. And if you want a dairy alternative, the coconut milk yogurt, So Delicious dairy-free coconut milk yogurt is awesome. Get the no sugar added one. And if you're adjusting, then maybe you can add a little bit of liquid stevia if you want it sweeter. Same with the cashew based yogurts are great. Forager's an awesome brand. And these things you can always add, or even like if you don't want to use stevia and you want to add a little honey, like that's fine. Just know how much you're putting in, know what kind of learn what you tolerate, and maybe you can wean yourself back as your palate adjusts, because it will adjust. And so just try those kind of things. And then another sweet option is my favorite. Base Culture is an incredible brand that makes breads. They make like sliced bread, so it's great if you want like a piece of toast. And also they make an incredible pumpkin bread and a banana bread that you could keep in the freezer and just pull out for like a grab and go breakfast. Pair it with some almond butter or maybe like even some extra protein on the side, like some chicken or something, an egg also, because it is a little bit carbier, but such good ingredients. They're almond, it's based with like almond butter, and they're so delicious. So this is a really great swap if you're someone who likes something sweet in the morning, or like something like a banana bread or pumpkin bread. The ingredients are so clean and the company's awesome. So yeah, Base Culture. And other swaps. So if you're like a bagel person and really want a bagel, there's a brand called Fox Hill Kitchens. They're awesome. They have low carb bagels and they're completely grain-free, gluten-free, dairy-free, and they've got everything bagels. And they're so good with Kite Hill chive cream cheese. That's a dairy-free cream cheese based with cashews and almonds. So if you're someone who likes bagels and cream cheese, make that swap. They're so good. And or you can put almond butter on it or something. That could be a really easy grab and go breakfast in those days. Keep them in your freezer. just pull them out, put them in the toaster, and you're good to go. So that's a great on-the-go option. And then, as I said, toast. So another brand I like is Julian's Bakery. They're paleo bread, very low carb, good ingredients. And so you could do that in the morning. And other things I've found are like cauliflower hash browns. Oh my gosh, y'all, they're so good. It's just cauliflower and there's some flaxseed in there and like one egg, and then you fry it in avocado oil, put some chopped onions in there. So good. So that can be a great option too. And then if you're on the go and really need something quick, things like apples and almond butter, maybe grab an Epic bar, just a high protein bar versus something super carby. And protein shakes. So this is kind of a place where people can get tripped up with like fruit smoothies and stuff. It can sound really healthy, but if you're throwing in like 3 bananas and a ton of fruit, that's can add up. There's still a ton of sugar and you're blending it all down. So you're drinking it so fast, it's readily absorbing into your bloodstream. So it can spike your blood sugar up pretty quick. So we want to be mindful with that. And if you're making a smoothie, to just be really mindful how much you're actually putting in. Load it with some vegetables, load it with some protein to help you balance out, and some healthy fats. Maybe throw in an avocado, throw in some nut butter, full fat coconut milk, something that's really going to satiate you and help your satiety signals. And protein shakes I like are, Amy Myers has a great protein. She's got a paleo vanilla and a chocolate protein powder. So that's one of my favorite go-tos. Very good, especially if you're like AIP, autoimmune, awesome option. Also, I like JJ Virgin's chocolate protein powder is so good. And these both, you can literally, on the go wise, you can just add water and they taste good. So worst case, you add water. But if you want to up level and want like a really tasty shake, there's tons of recipes you can do. Like you can add in coconut milk or a nut milk that you do well with, hemp milk, and throw in any additives that you want. If you want to, like some low glycemic fruits like berries and strawberries, organic, preferably, and some, if you want to throw in a little bit of banana for flavor, then maybe half a banana, some nut butter. You can do like vanilla extract or some almond extract, or even if with the chocolate, put a little peppermint extract in there. Spice it up, add some cinnamon. So many things you can do here. But for the basics, these protein powders are great even just with water. So if you're really crunched for time, you can just throw some water in and you're good to go. So I hope this was helpful. Just some options for you to start exploring. Really, main message here though is to start tuning in and notice, like, how do you feel in the morning? Are you running on empty? Maybe you're somebody who isn't hungry in the morning, and it's okay, especially like intermittent fasting. If you're doing well with, going multiple hours in the morning without breakfast, like that's okay. But to tune in where your energy level is, not waiting till you're starving for food at 12, but just monitor, honor your own hunger and fullness, and be mindful of the carb-loaded breakfast, and add in your protein, add in your healthy fat, your fiber. Just look, another additive you can, flaxseed adds, psyllium husk if you want some extra fiber in those protein shakes. Just, there's so many things you can do here. And if you need help, I'm here for you. If you've got questions, if you want those recipes, hit me up. I will send them to you, no problem. So mindfulbellie@gmail.com or DM me at mindfulbellie. And if you've got any great, breakfast sauce that you want to share, DM me and let me know. I'd love to hear about them. And again, I know this can be overwhelming at times, or you're like, I don't have time to meal prep, or I'm struggling with making time for it. Like, that's where I come in as a health coach to support you and help you honor your goals, really figure out what breakfasts are exactly right for you. What is going to make you thrive in the morning? What should your meal plan look like based on if you've got autoimmune condition, or if you're insulin resistant, or you've got fatty liver, like what really is the best option for you. So hit me up if you need help. I love you guys. Thanks so much for listening. Okay, bye.